Hey guys, what's up? So, got some really awesome info. There was an interview today between Game Informer and they had Taylor Kurosaki and Joe Seacott on there. They dropped a whole bunch of information and then they also like answered some questions without answering, like if something's not going to be, they'll be like, "Oh no." But if it is going to be, but they're not allowed to talk about it, they just say no comment. So that's pretty much as good as a yes. They did that a couple times like one time they talked about Soap, if he was going to be in the game, if he was going to be Scottish or whatever the heck, and they were like, yeah, no comment. So I made a video last night. This guy I talked to about a week ago. He leaks things, and just casually in the middle of our conversation brought up a demo for the single-player campaign. Hadn't heard anybody else talk about it. I wanted to drop that info. I was hoping nothing would change, that it would stay part of the plan. But they actually got asked that question in the interview, and they actually kind of had this this look on their face. I'm going to show like pretty much their body language when asked that question. They paused and then finally kind of formulated an answer, and what it came down to was they don't want to give too much away. So what they are doing is soon, he said soon, real soon, they're going to be dropping some chunks of gameplay from the campaign, and a big chunk of the setup for the story. So for those of you getting really excited about the demo who watched my previous video, sorry, it looks like that's scrapped. I was really excited, now I'm kind of bummed, but I have the beta to keep me happy in the upcoming weeks. Now let's move on. No split screen in the campaign, totally single player. The kill streaks will be visible in the beta, but not all of them will be like active for gameplay. Like, we won't be able to use all of them. I think he said like 2 of them are just there visually. Survival mode, they got asked about that, and they kind of looked at each other and they were like, "Can we? No, we don't have any details on that right now." And then he said, "Spec Ops has." And then there was like a pause. He's like, "No, never mind. We don't have any details on Spec Ops right now." So it sounds like there will be a survival mode. They just can't talk about it, and it's going to be heavily related to Spec Ops. I feel like just like there's, there's a 3-category Spec Ops campaign in multiplayer. Just like there's so many different modes in multiplayer, there's going to be different modes in Spec Ops, and that's probably going to be one of them. They did confirm weapons post-launch, but they did say they have been hearing the consumers when it comes to microtransactions and stuff like that. They already said that the maps, when they get released, they will be free. They don't want to put really big things related to the physical outcome of the gameplay behind a paywall. They're trying to be very consumer forward. They want everybody to know that they hear them loud and clear. There will be, of course, like microtransactions for cosmetic things, and we will actually get into that as time goes on. They were asked about remastered maps, and they paused and they were like, "Well, at launch, no." So it looks like we are going to get them, but we'll have to wait for map packs, which I'm totally fine with. I want the game to come with its own maps, and then we'll get some remastered maps down the road. I'm happy with that. Now, Jeff Smith apparently has gone back to maps he made in previous Modern Warfares, and is doing things to them he wasn't really able to do when he first made the maps back in the day. Things that he wanted to do, things he wanted to fix, or just add to the map in general that he couldn't do. Now he's doing that. So when we get a remastered map, it may not just be a skin. There may be some like actual changes to the map. It may be a reimagining of the map. Or let's say a reboot, since we can't call this Modern Warfare like a remaster or whatever. It's a reboot because it's different, but it's starting from Chalk 1. I guess that's what is going to happen to some of the classic Modern Warfare maps, and I'm excited to see that. Something very familiar, but with new things that you're like, wow, okay. It's like I'm playing this brand new map for the first time all over again. They said massive game modes, like 20v20 or whatever. I think 50 to 64 players is what they were playing around with. They will be in the beta. Standard character models and camos and factions, they very much depend on the weapon for the character model, and then like their uniform and stuff depends on the map. So it's going to be like the classic Modern Warfares. Now, as it stands for like customization and stuff. They said they're fighting hard to keep the game tonally consistent. No crazy unicorn guns or clown costumes. This is a big one, because I talked about this before. I shouted this stuff directly at the developers. I later got confirmation that they had watched some of my stuff, and this is something big that I brought up. The grind is important, but only if what you get out of the grind is important. If what you get out of the grind is worthless, the grind is worthless. Specifically talking about camos, among other things, but this topic's on camos. They said camos are a status symbol in this game. Meaning, if you have this badass camo, it means you earned it. If you see somebody with this camo, you're like, okay, he didn't buy that. He earned that through getting this many headshots or this many types of kill streaks, whatever challenges with that weapon. Because when they made it to where you just buy and unlock all these camos randomly, it made them worthless. They were no longer a status symbol. They were no longer a way to show off what you've earned or your skill. It didn't matter how cool of one you earned, someone else probably had one very, very similar, if not the exact same thing, just because they went and bought it. Which is like the equivalent of, like, you know, your school's football team working their asses off and winning a trophy, but then the rivaling school buys the same exact trophy and just slaps their name on it and puts it in their case, like, yeah, we have that too. Like, it's the same thing. They said there will be some, like, promotional camos, but that's about it. Everything else is a status symbol. So when it comes to like buying customizations for things, camos are probably not going to be in there, at least for your weapon. I don't know about customizations for your person. They talked a lot about like calling cards and stuff. Well, not they, sorry. Other leakers recently have talked about like loots and stuff being heavily with like calling cards and emblems and stuff like that. Now when it comes to attachments, I had offered the idea, please, you know, make it to where you unlock attachments via playing with other attachments, instead of them all just unlocking as time goes on when you play with that weapon, because it kind of pushes you to play with these other attachments, and you figure out these mixes of attachments that you never would have tried before, but it's like, oh wow, I actually like this. Motivating people to pursue attachment exploration. They said in the interview that they tried that among a couple other things, but what they came down to was just a soft push for playing with different attachments. Basically, you unlock the attachments like in recent CODs where it's just over time. You play with that weapon, you get more XP with that weapon, you unlock the attachments. They're going to have XP bubbles next to each attachment, so you're going to grind each attachment to get that XP to help you rank up, to kind of soft push people into trying out different attachments. Last but not least, the Gaming Revolution had a video. He said that his leaker dropped that one of the first weapons they will drop post-launch will be the crossbow, and that salvage will be back in a similar fashion to Modern Warfare Remastered as a way for people to unlock cosmetics through game points or salvage game credits instead of spending actual money. Anyways, that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please subscribe, please share, tell your friends, get involved in the comments down below, and I will catch you guys next time.